So welcome to part 6 and the last part from the Security Valley VIM series, that it's about how to turn VIM into a development environment. And our last and the most essential part is code completion, syntax error messages, code documentation, and ways to move around in your code project. So therefore, let's close Vim here, and to close all, and let's open a new tab here, jump to our home directory and get our Vim RC, and to make sure to have the same configuration, I copy and paste all the configuration stuff from our official Security Valley account. That it's the configuration that we have used so far in the videos, and copy and paste it here to my virtual machine. And I have tested here some stuff with Angular. You can get rid of that, you don't need that. And I've added here some, the airline plugin that we've not discussed so far, but I will show you in a minute. It's not really important. It's a nice helper, but there's no need to install it. But let's try and figure that out. So let's reload the configuration here, and then with our plug install command, let's install all the new dependencies. And I've also added the Vim Go package. Of course, I have decided to show you a Go project as a demo project. I really recommend to have that Go plugin. And for example, there are many plugins for Vim. For example, if you search here for the Vim Python, there are so many tutorials and ways for, I think, all the major and common programming languages, and how to configure Vim to work and implement your workflow in the best way. And there's also a nice website, that's vimawesome.com, and here you can search for I think not all, but tons of plugins that are available. So for example, if you want to have mathematical syntax highlighting and that stuff, or you're a Ruby developer or whatever, or maybe we search for Python here with Vim Flake 8, Flake 8 plugin, Python mode plugin, whatever. So if you miss something in your configuration or my configuration that it suits not your development workflow, I'm convinced you will find here a package that helps you. So now that we've talked so much, the reinstallation from the Go should be done in a few seconds here. What is he doing? Okay, it's reinstalling. That is or that are the post-installation steps from the Vim Go plugin. That depending on your machine, it could take a few seconds up to 1 or 2 minutes. And I have a small configured virtual machine, so I hope it's done in the next seconds. So but in that meantime, we can have a look here over the configuration, and you see I have the CSC configuration here. So right after the installation is done, we can try to test that stuff out. And maybe we need to add some more configurations lines here to have a code selection, yeah, from the code selection or the code completion menu that will appear in Vim. But that sometimes depends a little bit on the base system. So for example, on my host machine, I had no need to configure that. But we try that directly here in the individual machine and test that out together. So now the post-installation stuff and Vim Go is installed. That means we can close the project here. I can close that tab, and we're now back in our main Go project on another terminal tab. So let's now start. Remove our main Go, and you see some messages here that Vim tells you now that the workspace or the packages are loaded, and everything that has to do with the package should be there. So let's start writing some code here. And you see at the moment we have no code completion, but we have installed the CUC plugin. And the first thing is we need to tell, please, CUC, install some language support. So for example, there is a CUC JSON, if I remember right, where CUC is now what is wrong here? Installed invalid. That's interesting. Okay. What happened here? I think that was CUC log. Okay. Yes, sometimes, really rare, there's a problem with the node server that is starting in the background. So let's quickly check the version. So that means everything should be fine. Let's try by install the CUC Go package and see if we get that error message again. You see now that it's maybe a bigger package than the JSON package, and it should also be done in a couple of seconds. So in the meantime, let's search here for the Vim CUC and get here the official documentation. So put it here on the right, and you see that that's a preview how that will look like. We've installed the CUC stuff here, and you could also use a CUC settings JSON file. I had no need to use a config file here. And there are some things here that I've mentioned, I think, in the first video about some basic configuration entries that are needed for future plugins, and that it's one of these. So next is we have already seen the Shift K or uppercase K definition here for get code documentation, and I think that it's now a built-in. We're going to test that out, and maybe we need to add that lines here to achieve code selection from the code completion pop-up. So now we have no error message here, and the CUC is installed, and just for completion, let's totally close here, reopen again, and we should see the workspace has loaded, and use the main Go here, and now we should not see a plugin here, but if we start entering PAC, we see that it's Go related code completion here. And you see if I press enter, nothing appears, and the same is for tab, and at the moment I have no way to select some line here with its that behavior. So again, let's close, and then from our home directory open the VIM RC and do some changes here to the CUC configuration. So let's add the 2 lines here from the official GitHub repository. So that are the lines here, or these 3 blocks, and it's a function here. So let's copy that, and let's enter it here. So let's write it. Now, I mean, you can figure it out or read it by your own, to maybe line for line to get a feeling or to understand what CUC is doing here. So let's reopen our project here. Let's open the main, and now now if we start inserting, and if I press enter, I'm now able to select a code completion here, and the same is for func and main and FLT. And you see there's directly the import from the package here, and you see we have documentation highlighting here on the right, and you can navigate here with the arrow keys, and then you can select it with enter. We have the auto double quotes, then we can enter here, I think hello world is standard. Let's write that file, and I think there with the Go plugin there is I think it was Go run. Yeah, and you see we have the hello world output here, and that it's now with code completion with documentation. So if we jump a few words back here, and if I press now Shift K, I see the code documentation for the function or the code object right under my cursor. And you can navigate here like in any other view in Vim and get rid of that with Q. So you could also use GD to jump to the definition of the print line function, and you see under the hood it's return the fprint with standard out reference and so on, and with strgo we can jump back, and that's also an achievement that comes with the CUC language server. And I think if you start googling a little bit for Vim CUC available languages, you should see. Okay, that's the same. I don't know where they have language servers. Yeah, and you see here is a huge list of languages that are currently supported. So for example, with CUC Python, and here are some configuration examples that you can use. You can make Vim your IDE to any programming language, or to the most programming languages. There is, I think there's one more, but I think my virtual machine has frozen. So why it happened? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's quickly restart the machine here. And close the GitHub repository here with just a demonstration about the language servers. So let's wait a few seconds. So and I want to show you the last feature, that it's the error messages. I think that's absolutely important to have that. So if we add something here like a function that doesn't exist and given an argument of 4, you see we have that red arrows before line 7. And if we move to the first word or the first code object here, we see the error message, and it's totally right. There's undeclared name of a test function. Yeah, and to get rid of that, we can define here a test function that wants an argument and that it's an integer and that it's going to print that integer. Then the code error should disappear, and with go run, was it go run? Yeah, you see now everything is fine. Yeah, and that it's a way to get error messages. So let's get back to my slides. They're here. So I think we have covered in the last videos all the basic important stuff to turn Vim into a development environment. And yeah, the next thing is your lessons. To practice, play a little bit around, do some small coding projects, discover all the plugins that we have used so far in the video. And to be honest, I have maybe said a few 3 or 4 or 5 minutes about a plugin. There is so much more in the plugins. Yeah? I highly recommend to go into the GitHub projects, read documentations, read readmes. Sometimes, yes, there are some side effects, but there is a strong community where you get help. So with that in mind, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, or if you want to get in touch with me, here is the official Security Valley homepage. I'll make it a little bit bigger, and we have the get in touch section here. You can directly text me via Telegram, drop me an email, and if you are interested in other stuff like security related topics, secure awareness trainings, and all that stuff, feel free to drop me a line. So I hope you had fun, you had the chance to learn something new, you could hopefully proper understand me, and thank you for watching.